Lamborghini has just put the finishing touches on a brand new, state-of-the-art factory in Sant'Agata Bolognese, the very same Italian village where the company has produced every car it's ever made since the introduction of the 350 GT in 1964.
Lamborghini, for a long time, has been a fantasy brand. It's not something you see every day, it's uncommon.
Even though the brand is synonymous with dream machines, the greatest aspirations actually start just a few blocks down the road.
Lavorare per Lamborghini per me è stato un sogno.
Working for Lamborghini was a dream of mine. I was born in this area, so since I was small, I have been seeing these cars speed by on the roads here, and I always imagined coming to this company. So, when I finally had an opportunity, I came to work here, and I am so happy to work here.
The homegrown pride isn't just a local affair, but also a family one.
No Lamborghini ha dato da lavorare a mio padre.
Lamborghini employed my father, my uncle. I work here, and my brother does too. So, a lot of us are for Lamborghini.
These days, the machines are an important part of the Italian economy and a cornerstone of the nation's pride.
Fare questa macchina qui in Italia è una grandissima soddisfazione.
Making these cars here in Italy is very satisfying. Tremendous. It makes us proud to be Italian.
Today, there's a lot of passion. Yet the success hasn't always been a smooth ride.
30 anni fa non era.
3 years ago, it was not a factory. It was a small artisan business where we made cars entirely by hand.
One of those handcrafted machines is the Miura, which debuts in 1966 to rave reviews. The shape is beautiful, yet the impact is even greater. Many consider the machine to be the world's very first true supercar.
In the 60s, the Miura was the dream of that generation.
Standing just 105 centimeters tall, the Miura features a 350 horsepower V12 that propels it to a remarkable 280 kilometers per hour top speed. Perhaps more importantly, the combination of a sexy, low and wide shape with a highly powerful engine creates the archetype for the modern hypercar.
Piace tuttora la Miura.
I especially love the Miura. For me, it is the most beautiful car ever made. So seeing them here in the factory or in the museum gives me immense joy.
8 years after the introduction of the Miura, the brand does it again and launches the Countach.
This is something absolutely fantastic. I'm standing here in front of a third-scale model of the Lamborghini Countach. I think all the car lovers know what is a Countach, of course. Check out the strong angle of the side windows. When you see a Lamborghini coming, there's this typical architecture because it's so recognizable from far away. This is a car that it looks like a spaceship still today.
The machine will go on to have a remarkable 17-year production run and makes the brand a household name.
They're building the Countach, where they make these crazy wedgy supercars that look like nothing else on the planet and are ridiculously fast.
What I really like is when you can sketch a car really with a few lines in a few seconds. And the Countach, you can sketch the car in 10 seconds. The Countach is absolutely simple, essential Lamborghini. We can give the sketch a little bit of color. I have here something, I would call it old school. We have some chalk here. I can take away a little bit of powder. The Countach is quite famous in yellow. Take some pads here, and then in less than 1 minute you have a sketch where you can express some lines and some ideas.
The Countach is the last machine that company founder Ferruccio Lamborghini ever works on. Yet the angular shape continues to define and influence the brand today.
In the 80s, beside of the posters of some music stars, I had also a Countach on my bedroom wall. But it is also driving me because we are designers and we are looking into the future. And my driver is to understand what is the Lamborghini for the next generation.
For decades, the company gains fame for its exotic, high-performance cars. But sadly, it rarely sells a lot of machines.
By all accounts, Lamborghini shouldn't have survived as long as it has. They've almost went out of business multiple times.
If I look back at our history, and we are looking today, we are incredibly lucky because we are in a very solid position. The brand is very, very strong.
The marque's renaissance can be traced to just 4 cars. At the dawn of the 21st century, the brand introduces the Murcielago and the Gallardo super sports cars. Then, roughly a decade later, follows up with both the Aventador and the Huracan replacements. The machines bridge the gap between the handcrafted heritage of the past and a modern push towards a solvent company.
Sant'Agata has improved so much. There is work for everyone, and we have a solid company, thank heavens.
The growth is remarkable. Yet, in order for it to continue, the marque must keep evolving.
For me, the essence of everything is a pencil sketch, because this is where the dream is starting.
Mitja Borkert is the head of the marque's Centro Stile design studio and the man at the forefront of the Lamborghini design language.
When you look at the height, you will not find another SUV that is so low. We have a quite long wheelbase. This is good for the roominess in the interior. But there's also a width more than 2 meters. So this is generating a proportion that is absolutely outstanding.
Really angular, borrows a lot from the Lamborghini supercars, and that's what it needs to be. It needs to be instantly recognizable as a Lamborghini, otherwise, what's the point?
Creating the Lambo of SUVs starts with a pencil, but also requires the push of a pedal.
When we started to talk about real development, the first big question mark was in what way is it possible to merge the DNA of a super sport car in a super SUV.
Maurizio Reggiani leads the team that must figure out how to transform an SUV into a raging bull.
My job is one of the best jobs that you can have in the world. If you like about car or about engineering, you have opportunity really to think something, to experience and to tune in a way that for the other must be a masterpiece of engineering.
The challenge couldn't be clearer. Historically, SUVs have been tall, bulky machines built to do utilitarian tasks. But the Urus must embody the brand's high-performance soul.
What we did was first to define the normal parameter of one of our super sport cars. After we merge the top-end SUV existing in the market, these 2 diagrams give us our dream. This was the target that we gave to our engineering to fulfill and to satisfy all these requirements in a car that must be Lamborghini.
The goal is to lower the machine as much as possible, whilst also moving the vehicle's mass close to the center. It's a traditional sports car mentality applied to an entirely different kind of machine.
We achieved more of 1,400,000 kilometers.
Testing in the desert and on the dirt presents a brand new challenge, because in the modern era, Lamborghini has only built on-road supercars.
We don't have this kind of experience because our car is not born for the dune surfing. The first time that we were in Middle East to surf dune of 400 meters was something that you cannot believe that a Lamborghini can do this, and is one of the more exciting experiences that you can have. And the same was on the gravel, where you are able to drift like a rally car and to control a beast like is an Urus with 650 horsepower, only playing with the accelerator is an emotion.
The variety of testing venues allows the team to custom design a unique driving mode system that adjusts the engine performance, transmission settings, suspension, and stability control system for different conditions.
If you want to be on the track, you feed a more sporty setup. If you want to go in the sand, is a different balance between the front and rear axle, higher suspension, and so on. Therefore, that means that you have all the choice that you want to experience the driving in all the different conditions.
While the off-road testing might be new, teaching the machine to roar like a bull on the track is a time-honored tradition.
We spent time in Nardò, our most important proving ground in the south of Italy, where we reach the maximum speed of 305 kilometers. We made all development for the acceleration in order to reach 3.6 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. And to give an impression, when we launched the Gallardo, the 0-100 was 4.2 seconds.
The diverse range of locations helps the team tame what they can see. However, what they can't see is equally important.
We speak about a car with 650 horsepower, turbo engine, so you need air. The car is reaching a top speed of 305 kilometers per hour. You have to create surfaces not only for fun, you have to create the surfaces with a function. For example, it's a very important area here. The front chin, the front side of the car is already defining you the airflow. If you do here a wrong angle, the wind is not catching the rear of the car. This is quite challenging, I have to say.
The integrated rear spoilers help add additional downforce to the machine and give it stability at speeds over 300 kilometers an hour.
We designed the car like it is in a super sport car. If you see in the rear of the car, everything is done in a way to steer the air. We have a upper spoiler that is in the rear end of the car.
The different testing locations help engineers tune the Urus. Yet inside the factory, it's the diversity of cutting-edge tech that gets the job done.
This robot is programming in order to deliver the material and pick up the trolley used before from the worker.
The robotic trolleys use a localized form of GPS that pinpoints their spot in the factory using multiple transmitters. While the position is precise, coming up with a nickname is still a work in progress.
Someone already thought of some, and we plan to, because they have to be part of our family.
Just 5 AGVs move 40 carts to the line, including the myriad of computers installed into the machine.
We need to be very careful, so lots of electronic components and many electric control units.
On the line, they use another highly advanced tech system to keep track of assembly.
Manufacturing execution system is our nervous system of the factory. It's the software which is helping our worker to assemble the car. A touchscreen you see on the line is giving information to our workers and is also receiving information from the worker.
The manufacturer execution system allows the team to track every step of the build.
Abbiamo un sistema informativo.
We have a computer system called MES. We log on, and this computer system has all the functionality and the torque specs for the car.
The computer system replaces handwritten sheets that used to show who installed a particular item on the car.
Before, we are dealing with paper. Now we are paperless company, and this is giving us the opportunity to have a direct link from technical department to the production. So one modification done in R&D is immediately translated in the line.
A direct link born from wearable tech. In addition to the advanced touchscreens, workers also use Bluetooth-connected bracelets.
Questo è il braccialetto per collegarsi al sistema MES informatico. In modo che...
This is a bracelet that connects to the MES computer system. This is the way that we record everything we do on the car. All of the security functions, everything is recorded in the system.
On the line, the digital tech monitors the build. However, just a few steps away, a different computer actually teaches it.
We are close to the line, but in a special station in which we train the new colleagues starting working with us. Davide is just joined us and is training himself with a virtual training process.
The digital training process goes through every step of an Urus build.
He has seen the tools that is going to be used, the components, and also the sequence of the activity.
Virtual teaching helps new employees memorize the multiple operations required during each station's 34-minute cycle time.
This is something which for us was key. We need to have our workers in the best condition and to concentrate only to the added value, which is the assemble done by their hands.
Building any type of automobile is a complex activity, but bringing a Lamborghini to life is even harder because every single machine is bespoke.
Everything in the Lamborghini is customized based on the desire of our customer. We produce only when the customer has decided exactly what he wants on his car, because his car is a part of him.
Not only are the vehicles custom, so too are some of the new collaborative robots, which partially automate 3 specific stations on the line.
This is the first application that we did as a collaborative robot. This is the robot doing the gluing of all the glasses of the car.
The robot lays down adhesive far more accurately than a human, but the installation still requires 2 artisans.
Sono tenuti dei passi giganti per quanto riguarda la tecnologia.
There have been giant steps in terms of technology. Meanwhile, without the manual labor of the workers, the technology doesn't make sense, because a collaboration between technology and manual labor is required.
The combination of hand craftsmanship and robotic precision results in a better built SUV and a more ergonomically friendly factory.
We are at the end of the first part of the assembly line. The car is still without all the mechanics. We have some parts inside of the interior, but it's missing the heart of the car.
A 650 horsepower heart that helps rocket the Urus to a 305 kph top speed, claim the title as the world's fastest SUV.